Hi, I'm Steve Ferrell. Welcome to the 30-Day Meditation Challenge. If you're newer to this page, I'm going to suggest that you check the link in the description as a way to sign up for our newsletter so that you don't miss out on anything. In today's session, we're going to be focusing on a form of walking meditation. In Zen practice, this form of walking meditation is known as kinhin. And the setup for kinhin is that we're going to find ourselves in a standing position, and you want to have enough room around you so that you could either walk back and forth in a straight line for about 4 or 5 steps, maybe even 10, or enough space that you might even have a small rectangular or square perimeter that you could walk around. Within kinhin, as opposed to other forms of walking meditation where you might be out in the woods and noticing the trees and the birds and the leaves or the wind, that within kinhin what we're doing is we're keeping the focus on feeling the foot leave the floor and feeling the foot come onto the floor. So it really is a form of sense meditation, that we're trying to feel the foot as it leaves the ground and feel the foot as it comes back down. So we're going to find that place where we can walk either in a straight line or around a perimeter. And then we're going to be bringing our hands into a position known as sashu. And the way that you would find sashu is that you would take your left hand, palm facing up, and you would take the left thumb into the center and then use the other 4 fingers to cover it up. You would then take that left hand onto the abdomen and use the right hand to cover up. The analogy sometimes that we'll use for the hand in kinhin is that as you're holding the thumb, you imagine as though the thumb is a baby bird, and you don't want to crush it by squeezing it too tight. You also don't want to release the hands too much so that the baby bird falls out of your hand and onto the floor. I know that visualization can sound kind of morbid, but it can really get us into the experience of the hands even as we're doing walking meditation. And noting that sometimes if the mind gets a little bit too rigid or overly focused, there can be a tendency to want to hold the bird really, really tight. Or if the mind gets a little bit spacey or distracted, a tendency to let the bird go. So that as we're doing kinhin, we can use the hands as another form of information as to where the mind might be at. So as you find that standing position for yourself within your straight line or your perimeter, bring the hands into sashu. Again, the thumb in, left thumb in, fingers covering. The left hand goes on the abdomen and the right hand covers up. What I also love about this hand position, sashu, is that it's really hard to slouch. Right? You would actually have to force the body to round forward to slouch in this position. So it's a way of keeping the spine a little bit more upright and the chest a little bit more open. As you find that standing position, have the gaze forward but slightly downcast. Maybe so that the gaze is about 6 to 8 feet in front of you. And the gaze is more diffuse so that you can see where it is that you're going, but you're not looking for anything in particular. I'm going to clap once to begin walking meditation. As you start, begin to pick up the right foot, heel first, then ball of the toe, then the toes. Begin to bring the foot forward so that the heel strikes first, then the ball of the foot, and then the toes come down. The left foot moves, heel, ball, toe, and the foot comes forward and down, heel, ball, toe. And you keep walking in this fashion. And you're feeling the heel, the ball, and the toe leave the floor. And then feeling the heel, the ball, and the toe as it comes back down and makes contact. keeping the breath smooth and easy. And one way that we can begin to use the breath in this technique is that as we naturally inhale, this is when the heel, the ball, the toe begins to lift. Okay? On the natural exhale, this is when the heel, the ball, and the toe come down. So it's not as though we're trying to manipulate the breath with the step. It's just that the breath almost becomes a subtle metronome for how the feet are moving on the floor. Again, check in with your baby bird, hands in sashu. And also keeping the gaze diffuse, forward, slightly downcast. If you're walking in a perimeter, be aware of the mind that gets wrapped up in thoughts about how to turn the right way. And just know that there's no right way or wrong way to turn. And so instead you just feel how you turn. At the same time, noticing if the mind begins to create a story about the right way to walk. Sometimes I'll see people who intentionally try to put one foot directly in front of the other. And although that's an option, it's not really part of the instructions, that you just walk. And to the best of your ability, staying in the foot as you walk. Sometimes in walking meditation, we can very easily get wrapped up in thoughts about where we're going. And so a very common phrase that we'll use in Kinhin is that as long as you stay in every step, you will get somewhere. And if you're walking a perimeter or even a line, but as long as you stay in the step, you will walk the line, you will walk the perimeter. And so the focus is not in walking the perimeter or the line, but again, doing our best to stay in each step. Again, checking in with breathing. Is the breath easy, or are you beginning to manipulate it as a way to step more easily, or the way that you would like to step, or the speed that you would like to step at? And especially since the eyes are open, noticing the tendency to get distracted by externals, And if there's a window open, maybe the tendency to peer out the window, or just to simply look around. And if that's the case, bringing the gaze back, forward, slightly downcast, and a little diffuse. For some, noticing how the mind wants to put descriptors on the sensations of stepping, right? Or even put judgments on our ability to walk, or even judgments on our ability to feel walking. We notice that, we acknowledge it, and we come back to the feeling of the feet. The hands in sashu. And take just 5 more steps here. Inhaling as the foot comes up, exhaling as the foot comes forward and down. Heel, ball, toe, heel, ball, toe. Once you finish that 5th step for yourself, coming back to a place of stillness, maybe back to a chair in front of your computer screen. I hope that you've enjoyed the practice of Kinhin. One of the things that I really love about this practice is that we can have this opportunity to take the mindfulness of the moment that we usually spend on a cushion and begin to bring it into action. And so we can sit with attention, but then can we also move with attention? Hands to heart, head to heart, and one bow.